And we are live here, Rocket League fans. Game number 3 before a little bit of a break as we continue on those games later with different casters who will guaranteed to not be me or Soy Sauce. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here with Soy. We got Build down there in producer's box and helping us out by producing and observing same time. Guy's a golden god. Love to see it. Love to see it. We got Marquette taking on Manhattan. Give me a little breakdown here as we're starting this one very quickly.
Yeah, this should be an interesting one. I mean, Manhattan, they are on a 2-game win streak, coming off a win against Colorado last week. Marquette, with a win here today, they keep pace with the higher-ups of that Big Eastern Conference that we were talking about. They currently sit at 8-5. We'll have to see how this one goes. I'm kind of curious. I mean, week in, week out, we've seen Manhattan improve and improve. So they're finally starting to get some wins under their belt. But now this is a tough challenge in a Marquette team, and Nito Burrito proves why.
Yeah, maybe not looking that tough so far. Don't even get an opportunity to introduce these guys before they get this one started. But Son of Card, Josh, and Nito Burrito coming in from your Marquette University squad. Would you do me the honors talking about Manhattan?
On the Manhattan Jaspers side, you got Rocking 7, Jason C, and Robitussin, but none of them can make that save. Son of Car makes it 2-0.
Yeah, so we were predicting off stream, of course. Maybe a little bit of a more one-handed match. This is 2 scores in 10 seconds. We follow that all the way down. What do we get? Like 36-0 or something like that? Like out of one goal per 10 seconds.
Something
like that's
along
not going to
those
happen.
lines.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
It's a rough start for Manhattan. Manhattan is a team that we talked about adaptation through a set. Manhattan is absolutely one of those teams. They get off to rough starts in game number 1, and Nito Burrito once again proving why already with 2 goals on the board.
Yeah, big stuff coming up from them. At a certain point, you just kind of play keep away with this. I honestly, genuinely hope that this is not indicative of how one-sided the rest of these matches will map. Excuse me, not matches, because again, Soy Sauce and I are not doing the next games. You gotta give a shout out to Robitussin. He's got that bright pink. What is that? No, I'm thinking about Pepto-Bismol, aren't I?
Yeah. Same shade. Same shade.
My over-the-counter cold medicines. Cold medicines?
Yeah.
What is Robitussin? No, that's like coughing stuff, like flu medication.
That's coughing.
And then and then the other one is more along the lines of like stomach acid, right? Like acid reflux.
Yeah.
Got it. Kind of clarifying here your popular over-the-counter medications here in the universe, in the United States of America. That's why you guys tuned in, right?
Ooh, first real shot there from Manhattan. Robitussin, great job getting in front of that ball to push that one. And I love the shot placement too, making Sinakar dive for that save.
Yep, diving plays right there, requiring a lot out of the defense will be the name of the game. Oh, there you go, Rockin' 7 snagging this one over the top, and I believe using a opponent on this one as well.
Yeah, he got the pinch off of the defender there. I believe that was Nito Burrito. I'd have to take a second look at it. But either way, Manhattan will take them as they come. Because here's the thing about Manhattan's offense. When they have found success, it is in moments like that where they are able to punch this ball down the field and then just catching a defender off guard, making them think they have more time to play the ball, and then leaping on top of them, going for dunks, catching someone in transition. That's where the Jaspers offense has really found the majority of their goals.
Really has. 3 of them so far. Score difference of 2 on this one. The first real lead. Oh my goodness, Nito Burrito almost clipping this one in for a tasty shot, if you'll forgive it. Josh is trying to get that one out here. So Josh and Jason, kind of the 2 more typical names. I think that you can kind of figure out where they got the inspiration for those, right? First names? Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's on goal too. Oh, wow. Josh is going to get his first.
Yeah, that's perfect, actually. All memery aside, that is about as close as it gets. Like, not just the outside, but to when you talk about like efficiency of shot, like perfection of shot. Could have been a little bit faster, I guess. Could have been a little bit more centered. But again, about as perfect as you get it. Lead of 3 now. 4-1. Nito Burrito. Unencumbered. Uninvited, perhaps, but also untouched as he is coming into the top.
That's just too much space given. I think it was Jason C on that kickoff. He's got to find a way to stall that out. He takes the kickoff and he's trying to race over to that side boost, which is the typical rotation, right? You know, you go for kickoff and then you either follow it up or you try and rotate back and pick up some boost to play defense. But right there, he's got to find a way to get in front of that ball, delay that offensive pressure, because you can't let a team like Marquette have all this space to work with.
Yeah, and again, end of the day, this is a squad on both sides. They'll be taking advantage of any yardage that you kind of give up for free. Obviously, and so far, that's kind of been more so one way, not the bright pink Robitussin Pepto-Bismol squad. That's what I'm going to call them from now on. Pepto-Bismol squad. Nito Burrito, I'm memeing, of course. Nito Burrito here with the 6th for the side of Marquette, as this one just kind of, this train is still rolling.
And the other thing when we talk about Manhattan here is that, I mean, obviously this team is growing, right? But there are moments where this team, actually you can see their defense kind of shine through, and right there, it's about the aerial control, right? That's really the difference here. Marquette, you can see how much control they have over their car by how strong and how intentional each movement of the car is and each touch on the ball. But for Manhattan, there's a lot of weaker touches. It feels like they're kind of diving at the ball, trying to push it somewhere, rather than controlling it and dribbling it. And what a shot by Son of Carr underneath the crossbar.
I think a follow-through is kind of boiling down what you're talking about a little bit, like in like boxing or whatever else like that, right? They would say like don't hit, into somebody's like don't punch into somebody's like solar plexus, the middle of their like in their abdomen, punch through it, right? Not just because of the misjudgments that can come by just trying to hit something on surface area, but really going through all the way, delivering, right? Same with your chest, pushing it all the way through. More so going to have advantage of that when that's more so kind of like your initial game plan coming into either of those two acts.
Yeah, and that all comes with experience, right? And it feels like that's just been the kind of the downside of Manhattan at points, is where it feels like as long as this team has been together, just the experience and some of these more technical plays just have not really come to fruition yet.
That's entirely fair. Not completely out of this at all is Manhattan, but this game is donezo. Push it to the next. Consider a learning experience. Son of Carr with a hat trick by himself. I believe, well, looking at the Z numbers. 4 goals for Nito Burrito. Burrito indeed. Son of Carr, kind of proving that name, and why his daddy should be proud of him. 3 goals for him. This is Josh coming through here. 4 shots on, no saves, 2 assists from his teammates, and a single goal as well. Robitussin, bright pink player over here, 3 shots on. Actually has more points technically than the player who does have Manhattan's 1 goal, but that is off the back of some defensive play, and of course an assist for the 1 goal that did go their way. Manhattan College dropping, unfortunately, 1-7 there towards the end. We'll be seeing how they adjust here and adapt in game number 2. This is the point where we always talk about just scrubbing it. That game is over and done with. It's in the past. It can't hurt us anymore.
Yeah, and we talked about it too. Manhattan, they are a team that, as the series goes on, they adapt to the game flow pretty well. They warm up to the pace of play, and honestly, at the end of the day, 5 shots for Manhattan after being outshot by this much, to still have 5 shots on the board, That's still pretty good, and you still got one home. The problem, though, is that Marquette offense had way too much space to work with at the end of the day. I mean, you saw how many times were they in the air just up so fast to the ball, and that's a learning experience for Manhattan. They tend to kind of shell up, kind of put up that iron curtain in front of the wall, in front of their goal, see how long they can keep the offense off, but Marquette is a team that will take advantage of that play style any day of the week.
Oh, yes. Twice on Sundays. That's what they tell me. We'll be seeing possibly the last game. Or no, excuse me. This is only the second game. Yeah, second game coming in through here. First one was just, I guess it was just kind of a lot. 8 total scores going across in that first game. 7-1 for the side of Marquette. We're seeing how Manhattan kind of readjusts and change their game plan, their strategies as they're coming into this second game now.
We'll have to see. I also want to point out that, actually, here's a quick shot from Rocking 7. He can't put it on net, though, off the post and out. Could have been the first goal. But quickly the other way is Marquette. Nito Burrito wanting the double tap isn't going to be able to get it.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Again, nothing's going to happen easily or quickly here for your Manhattan College squad. But what has happened, and what is fantastic so far, is at this point, last game they were down by 3. They were down 3-0. You just got to call it, right? That's a marked better improvement now.
Ooh, that's a quick shot. Good save there on Nito Burrito. 2 players committing, but they get that ball out. And Robitussin, I really have to commend his control over the ball. You saw, especially at the end of that game, how he was able to not only, dribble that ball forward, but also get a flick off the wall to continue and maintain that possession. And that's something Manhattan has really struggled with in the past.
I'm with it. Just I'm kind of pointing out some of the ways in which they could be playing a little bit better. First goal now. Again, at this point last game, Soy, we're looking at something like 4-1 or 4-0, I think. Which means, of course, that Manhattan is playing much, much better. Marked better. Like simply playing this defense in a way that they were able to kind of shut down the shot opportunities. Take it to the numbers here, so talk to me a little bit about the numbers so far.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is going to get his first goal here to make it 2-0. You got 6 shots already for Marquette. And, this is the kind of play style that Manhattan has kind of adapted, right? They kind of shell up, see how many shots, they can take and try and catch a team out of position. And they almost got it at the very beginning of the game, but that's also the problem, right? We talk about time of possession a lot in these games, and you can tell just Marquette, their time of possession is all over the place right now. They are all over top of this one. The other note I wanted to make, Josh is not a common name to the roster. We usually see JFG in that third slot for Marquette, so it's good to see a third player or a fourth player, I guess, for Marquette getting some extra time on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with it. There's a lot to be said for that one. Now, Rocket League obviously play to play now. Players can use different gamer tags and whatnot. Does JFG does that stand for the Josh's player's initials or whatnot? Who knows? We've obviously come into that issue beforehand, but one way or another, what I'm saying here, Soy, is that Josh, no matter who he is, playing fantastically, and I guarantee you that Marquette University is using an approved player no matter what, even if that's not the same player. Obviously, subs and more are capable here for the EGFC, that will be approved. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, as far as I know. It'd be pretty confident, courageous, ballsy. I think would be the PG-13 word there to try and use a player on live stream that was not allowed, knowing that you're going to be on stream. So pretty much guaranteed that's gonna be okay. So.
Yeah, and as this game kind of continues on, for Marquette, this is kind of a week where Son of Car actually able to get that shot on goal, and again. This is an offense that we've seen, fly high before, but I really want to take a minute to kind of focus on Manhattan. See, this is, they're no strangers to these score lines. but I feel like they're getting closer and closer each week to being able to compete. I mean, just last week, they're coming off a 2-game win streak, right? A win over Georgetown, I believe, was their first win. And then last week, they go up against a Colorado squad that, they've had, I believe if I remember correctly, they're in that part of the standings where they're kind of the dark horses, right? They're in that Western Conference that's pretty... they're in that Western Conference that's really tough to get out of, especially with UTA and San Jose State in it. And so for Manhattan to, kind of shell up and be able to counterattack them is fantastic stuff. But again, the Big East, Marquette is a team that kind of needs these wins, right? They're going to put their foot on the gas more because the Big East is so close.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point there. Marquette technically coming into this one at 8-5. So honestly and obviously, that's not really that big a difference win-loss record-wise than the vast majority of teams we've seen here on stream. 5-8 North Dakota these are all numbers coming into their respective games. 5-8 North Dakota, 9-4 DePaul, 8-5 San Jose, literally the same exact numbers. 6-6 for Marist last game. These are all middle-of-the-road teams that performed here today, and one way or another, wins, losses, really going to spell out the effect this regular season is going to have on the playoffs, and every more so each and every passing day, every single week. Wednesday, of course, is our Rocket League days here for the EGFC. Looking at Manhattan, that's what we're turning attention to for the time being. 2-10, that's where they're coming in at. What that says to me, Soy, is that given that they were getting honestly just stomped a little bit harder in game number 1, this is still a team that's playing much, much better in game number 2. There's no reason to believe that theme of improving will continue in game number 3. Now, is that enough to predict like a comeback or a full reverse sweep or something like that? I'm not 100% sure that I could say that. But the simple act of getting better is the name of the game.
Yeah, and week in and week out, you can tell that they've been putting in the time. There's some chemistry on this team. The problem has been, having it all come together on the same week, and for the past 2 weeks, they've been able to kind of, be able to pull it together a bit more. I'm recalling, weeks where there were only, 1 or 2 goals away from being able to push it into overtime or something along those lines, because their defense has really improved and it's been able to hold back some of these teams. But the Big East, just their offenses some days just explode out of nowhere. I mean, I'm thinking back to multiple times where players like Son of Carr can pull off plays like that to Josh, and it seems like it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, look at where he comes in from, right? Player down bottom, that was Robitussin trying to get up closer to this, but even just like, it seems like either of those players could have taken that in, is what I'm saying. Like one could have flipped around, taken this all the way. Jason almost gets a perfect goal off the 50-50 situation. Josh almost taking this off the top. I mean, that would have been huge for Manhattan, honestly. Yes, it's not just shy of impossible to have come back at a 7-1 scoreline with 35 seconds left, but still, getting a fast shot like that would have been beautiful. Yeah,
and I want to commend, Manhattan as well for these kickoffs are starting to go their way a little bit. Obviously, I think Marquette is going for a couple of these plays. That was nearly another one too. But I think Marquette is trying to go for fakes on kickoffs and just recognizing that and punching that ball towards the goal. Either way is going to result in a shot on net. But same scoreline from game number 1 and more or less the same. It's just a case of 1 or 2 things here or there that Manhattan just can't quite get a good read on, and Marquette's there to punish.
I hear you. And Manhattan's just like you said, just that last little bit. Unfortunately, they get that better. And they stop just kind of losing the individual, kind of situations right there. They almost like you call it like individual 1v1 like gunfights in like our first-person shooter or something like that, right? Like just kind of these small little neutral territory situations where ball can go either way, just more so than not gonna go the way of Marquette. We're gonna go to a very short break and let these two teams kind of figure out what they want to do here. Come to game 3, possibly the last for Manhattan. 7-1 in game number 1, 7-1 in game number 2. That's just the on paper scores and reporting here. Back with you guys in just a little bit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the EGF. We've got game number 3 for you here between Manhattan and Marquette. Again, if Marquette take this game, they will take the series and looking to get off to a hot start. Josh, oh, that is an unfortunate series of events. I mean, first off, this shot from Sunakar, how does that not find the net off the post? And Robitussin makes the save, and Josh just still, his momentum, diving across, able to get that first goal. And this has been more or less the story of, the set so far is that Manhattan, it's been a lot of right ideas, wrong execution, and Nito Burrito chipping that one over top is going to find a second goal as well. And, more or less here, you get caught on the goal line, rocking 7, unable to make that play. And that's something you'll see kind of throughout the Manhattan set, is the... I've already harped on it a couple of times, but the defense of Manhattan, it can stand strong. We've seen them play well before, but there are just weeks where Marquette's offense just finds another level. And so we'll have to see here how they adapt in game number 3 as rocking 7, able to punch this one away. Chipping it up the boards now. Robitussin there with them, unable to get a shot on goal here as we approach the 1 minute mark down. As that will be a shot on goal. Josh not able to get it past Robitussin. Robitussin really has been kind of the man of the hour for Manhattan. A handful of saves for his team on top of a couple shots. And, his play this week has really gotten better, and we haven't seen him every single week show up. So to have him really kind of have a good week like this, despite the scoreline, is a good sign for this Jaspers team. That being said, Nito Burrito juking one, chipping it to the boards where Josh back passes this one, and Son of Car is up for it, but he's not really going to be able to find a second touch here. And it's plays like that where Manhattan need to kind of go back to the drawing board, right? If Nito Burrito can't get a second touch on the ball there in the air, that has got to be a punch of a clear out. You've got to get that ball down the field and going the other way, but instead, just wasn't there a whole lot of power behind that clear, and that's what allowed Marquette to kind of stall this ball out at midfield. That being said, 3 minutes remaining. First real chance there from Jason C is saved away by Nito Burrito. As we approach the halfway mark, Sunakar unable to get a touch. This one's up in the air, though. Jason C is there for it, but he can't get the touch. Man, that was pixels away. If he were in a Dominus, he would have had it for sure. Now, Robitussin unable to get the touch, and Josh on the double tap skies it over the backboard, and so Marquette will just kind of go back to work here as 2 players getting caught up, rocking 7, bumping Robitussin, make it 3-0 Marquette. Just about halfway through game number 3 here, a 3-0 lead. All of the players of Marquette with 1 on the board, 7 shots to 1, and more or less the same story, right? We've seen this Manhattan team have a few chances here or there, but really they've only been able to score 1 goal per set, and if they can't get more than 1, you got to be able to score in this league. You got to make your chances count, and you got to get that ball into the opposite half, and they just haven't been able to do so with a ton of possession. Josh on the air dribble here won't be able to put that one back on goal. Instead, he'll just leave this for Son of Car, who's, he was not ready for that pass, but readjusts and is able to make that play. That's a big save from Robitussin, an awkward play and a double commit on the side of Manhattan as well. Robitussin able to get that one out to mid as well to fork it away from one of the Marquette players. Now Sunakar racing through here. Rocking 7, unable to find a touch. Josh over top of 1. Can he find the redirect? Not back on net, but Robitussin unable to find a touch as well. Jason C, very good positioning player, never in the wrong spot. Able to get that clear. But unfortunately, Manhattan just no possession once they enter that blue half. Son of Car off the double tap, trying to send it across for Josh. And with a minute remaining, does Manhattan have anything left in the tank? Josh recenters it. trying to back pass that pass one, and Son of Car will just kind of backtrack here, regather his boost, and regather some positioning. Redirects that one center. Robitussin is there. Nito Burrito looking for the awkward pass. And Jason C with the demo, gonna kind of reset the momentum. Son of Car chipping that one mid. Robitussin waiting for it in the corner. 40 seconds remaining here in game number 3. Josh on the challenge. And once again, just time of possession being a huge factor in Rocket League, and Marquette has just had the ball the entirety of this game. I mean, the one shot from Jason C was good, but they have not had anything since, and that's really been the story of the series so far. So Marquette will wrap this one up with a pretty bow, it seems, as we approach the 10-second mark. 3-0 on the scoreboard, maybe one for the road, but regardless, Marquette will take the win however it comes. They keep pace and put the pressure on in the Big East on the teams like DePaul, Xavier, and the rest of them. Marquette 3-0 sweep over Manhattan, and there's really not too much to say about it. I mean, this is a Manhattan team that, week in and week out, we say they've been putting in the effort. I do want to commend Robitussin for his effort. He had the Savior medal this game specifically, but at the end of the day, Marquette, the chemistry, the offense, it was all there, and another pop-off kind of week for them. And that's a good sign for them as well, because if you're looking at that Big East in terms of the standings, Marquette is a team that, this win puts the pressure on. I've said it before. You keep UConn honest, you keep DePaul honest, and even those teams, the Seton Hall, Butler, Xavier, that have been the kings of that Big East. They, one loss is all they need to kind of shake things up there. So a big win for Marquette, and unfortunately for Manhattan, one more time back to the drawing board. Again, plenty of time still to turn your season around the right way as we are kind of in that final stretch of the season. But that is it for me on the desk here on Official EGF. We have got plenty more Rocket League action after the break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the EGF. We've got a quick interview for you with JFG, a.k.a. Josh from Marquette. Josh, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Congrats on your win this week over Manhattan. How you guys feeling about how your season's gone so far?
Right now, really good. I think we're undefeated in the second half of the split, so we are playing very well, and we're getting better every week, so it feels really awesome.
Yeah, you guys have had a fantastic split. You guys are in a very tightly compact conference, especially towards the top of that Big East, and you've played a couple of those Big East teams before. So, I mean, how do you feel about being in this Big East conference that is so, tightly compact?
It's fun to be in a conference that's super competitive, and I'm friends with mostly everyone in it, so it's good friendly competition and serious competition when things happen. It also is really helpful for all the teams because we always have good teams to scrim against and get better with. So it's a lot of fun, and really thankful that there's so many good players here.
Yeah, you guys have had some real pop-off weeks. I mean, this is another sweep for you guys. I've harped on it a couple of times that there are some games where you and especially players like you and Son of Carr just have these pop-off moments. What do you think allows your offense to really thrive?
I think we have really good positioning, and then when you have really good positioning, when you get just a tiny advantage, we can turn it into a big advantage. And just depending on who we're playing against or what's happening in the game, it varies between me or Carr about who's going to get the best opportunities. And I think also with our skill level, we're just good enough to capitalize on them.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, there's only a few weeks of the regular season left. You guys, coming up next week, you've got Georgetown. The week after, you get to play against Butler University, another team in that Big East that's so close. And then you get another match against DePaul. Is there any team that you're kind of looking forward to as the season goes on?
I think definitely DePaul. I think they're kind of an underrated team, sort of like us, so I think it's a battle of the underdogs, I guess, to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys played them close last time. So to take this, I'm going to ask one more question, actually two more, in a kind of different direction. Actually, I'll ask this one first, because I'm always curious what teams do. But how do you guys prepare for the EGF every week?
So we try to get as many scrims in as we can, and then we'll look over the VOD of last week's game, see what we did right, see what we did wrong. And other than that, it's just a lot of playing together and getting the chemistry up.
Mm-hmm. I'm always curious to see if someone's got like a pregame ritual of sorts before they get into the match. So yeah, but obviously, good stuff to review VODs and whatnot. And then my last kind of question is, as the season progresses, I mean, everyone in this league is a student somewhere, and COVID has played a massive impact across the country. How has kind of COVID affected how you guys have prepared for this season?
I think it's been good and bad. I think we've missed out on that kind of person-to-person, face-to-face, meeting up with people. Maybe getting to talk over things in person can sometimes, I guess, help a little bit more than just online. And I think it's also been a blessing in some ways because there's nothing else to really do but play. All of us have put a lot more hours into the game than we normally have, and I think that shows in our mechanics and the things that we're able to do.
Awesome, yeah, that's good stuff. That is all the questions I've got off the top of my head. So actually, do you have anything you wanna shout out, or anyone you wanna shout out while you're here?
I think just shout out to all the teams and EGF. You guys are awesome as a production company and putting this all together, and all the players are super nice and friendly, and this is a lot of fun to be in. So thanks to everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and once again, congrats on your win this week. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And that about wraps up my time on the desk here, but don't go anywhere. We got plenty of more Rocket League action here and on EGF Rocket League, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.